Well, I'm John Lee, St. Louis Real Estate Investors Association. Um, let's see, today is Friday, January 16th, 2026. Um, let's see. And I just got a few announcements. Good to see everybody. Hope you're kind of settling in after the first of the year rolled around. Let's see here. Tuesday is the main event at the Lodge in Pere. This is a members only meeting. We're going to have Russell Parker of Fast Track Properties, and then Brian Edelman. That's Brian with a Y. I don't see Brian on here. He's usually on here, and he's going to be talking about the Landlord Ops, the AI platform that he has. Um, I just found out this morning too that from Scott Walterbach, he does the Missouri Tax Sale Seminar. He's got a date and a location now. It's going to be in Jackson, Missouri this year, and that's going to be on June 26th. I know some of you guys were with us last year, but I would go ahead and mark your calendars now because this is a really good event if you at all interested in tax, any kind of tax properties or anything to do with taxes. I know Michelle McBride, the St. Charles collector, she's been one of the speakers the last couple of years, and as well as some other people. Actually, Catherine Davis is the one that first told me about that back a couple of years ago. This will be the fifth annual, and these are some uh, pretty, pretty high class people that actually deal with this. People that really know kind of what they're doing with the tax sale process and everything. There's a lot of collectors, there's attorneys, and a lot of other people. We're happy to be helping to sponsor that again this year. He just asked me about that, and I'm pretty excited about that because this is stuff that's I'm kind of passionate about the tax sales and all that stuff, the way that works. We've kind of got involved with a few of that. We'll have some more on that as the time gets closer. We'll probably go ahead and put together another special event. I don't know. I know we did last year. We were able to get Scott to come on one of our Friday events, and that's what we'll try to do again to get him come in here because that makes it a little easier because we already have that kind of scheduled as our Friday networking events. And we'll get Scott to kind of tell us. I don't know who the speakers are. We do have the location down though, which will be Jackson, Missouri, which is down in south of us here. So I think Dave might be a little more familiar with Jackson too down there. So
I am. It's right next door here. So,
that's what I was thinking.
yeah,
Excellent. Okay, so maybe we'll set up camp in your yard. No, it's not too far from us here. I know last year he was able to get in St. Louis. The year before we were in Gladstone, over on the other side of the state, the western part. So it's pretty exciting. At least I'm pretty excited about it. And it's going to be at the Missouri University Extension. I'll have more details on that as it comes up. So pretty good location, pretty easy to find. It is an all-day event, so June 26th. It starts early and goes till evening. It does it not evening, but early evening, I guess. It's a full day event. He does include lunch, and this is one of the, in my opinion, one of the best priced seminars out there because it really doesn't. He's still. I don't know what he's going to charge this year, but it's still under $100, and that's with lunch. I know lunch will cost half of that, depending on where you go these days. So pretty excited about that. Couple other things. I just talked to the guy from Pet Screening. I don't know if you guys have heard that. We do have them. I know Dave's shaking his head. He probably does know about that. They're going to come and talk to us about pet screening. Yeah, we're going to have them come out in March, and then probably in April. I have March 20th down that we have, and then April 17th, and we're working on a third one because they have lots of subjects, but we're going to have them just talk about the pet policy management and then assistant animals like the fair housing compliance and kind of the do's and don'ts and some of that kind of stuff in the rules. And then also on property budgets and financial fundamentals because pets can be a good thing, but they can also cost you lots of money. If you kind of don't know what you're doing, but you want to charge for the right thing and you want to be fair to everybody. So anyway, as I have more information on that, I'll let you know about that too, though. But that'll be in March. We got a little bit of time, but as quick as the time goes by, it'll be here before you know it. So anyway, that's all the announcements I guess I have. So let's see. Is my wife Laura over there? It looks like. So would you like to go ahead and give us our disclaimer today so we can get started?
I sure will, if I can. Let's see, where did my thing go again? Good morning and welcome, everyone. First, I'd like to do a bit of housekeeping. Feel free to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. Please be mindful of everyone else by muting yourself while others are speaking. You're welcome to put any contact information that you want to share into the chat. We meet here to share deals, look for deals and solutions we have in need with our real estate. We are not your financial advisors, attorney, or accountants. We do not endorse or recommend any specific solutions or contractors here. You're advised to do your own due diligence to your own satisfaction before you invest. The first Friday of each month is Ask the Attorney with Miss Catherine Davis. Our meetings are typically recorded, so only share what you want others to know.
Thank you, Laura. I'm glad you got through that without coughing too much. She's got a little little congestion going on, so kind of nursing that along. So thank you. All right. Let's see here. Got a good group of people. Anybody got anything they want to start us off with today? Everybody just came to smile and have coffee with us and hear the announcements and uh but we're all doing good. Everybody getting settled in after the first of the year here. I know it's pretty exciting. It does go by pretty quick too, though, at the same time. And hard to believe that we already are into well, halfway over, a little over halfway through January right now, which is kind of unbelievable if you ask me. I was looking at some stuff this morning thinking, oh, I got till the end of January to do this. It's like, well, that's only like coming up right here. So I better get going on some of this stuff too. And I think everybody's kind of back into their work mode now. A lot of people take off during the holidays, and I don't know if anybody's gone down and gotten any vital records recently from down in Clayton for St. Louis County. I went the other day, and that was kind of exciting or eye-opening, I guess I should say, because I haven't been down there in a while. I tried to call for over a week, and I kept getting the perpetual busy signal every time I punched in the right things. I had to get some things I'm working on, some birth certificates, death certificates, marriage certificates, and a divorce decree, and all that good stuff. Now everyone is in a different place. Okay. I first went through the courts and went through the metal detectors and all the stuff, then found out I had to go next door to get what I wanted. Then I got some of the stuff there. Then they sent me back to the court building saying I needed one thing from there. So I had to go back through all that stuff again. Then the birth certificates and the I don't know if anybody's gotten any of those lately, and death certificates, they transferred all them out to a different place in Berkeley now on off of Hanley Road, which is several miles away. So what I thought would have been just fairly easy going in and spending an hour or two getting some of them took me about a half a day. So if you if you need any updates on where to go for some of that stuff, I can kind of help you out with that nowadays. I know the government's hard to get a hold of. I know they were busy over the holidays, but you would think after the 9th or 10th, the holidays would be over for most people, but apparently that's not the case. So all you can do is laugh about it, and then hopefully everything's on its way. And you got to pay for all that in a different section too. So that's another whole story. So anyway, anybody got anything they're working on that we want to buy or sell? Anything like that right now? Uh, I know there's a lot of opportunities coming up here. A lot of people still kind of in the kind of sitting back, waiting to see as far as selling things. I know a lot of people like to do that closer to the school year, but I think it's a really good time because we did just have, in fact, this is a really good time. We talked about taxes a little bit, but this is a really good time to go back and see if you were looking at any properties for people that were behind on their taxes, maybe opportunities there. This is a really good time of year to go back and look because now they're starting to get updated. I know ours that we paid finally are updated with some of the counties. So if there's any properties you were looking at getting for back taxes from the people, not from the tax sale, but that's coming up. These are easy to get a hold of right now because you can see who paid and who didn't. So anyway,
Speaking of taxes, just a reminder for everybody that the threshold for 1099s changed. So if you own a business for the year of 2026, now this isn't for last year. So last year's the threshold is still, I believe, 500 for anybody that does work for you in order for you to issue them a 1099, get a W-9 and then issue them a 1099. But for this year, it's now $2,000. So when you're getting W-9s from contractors and things like that, you don't need it if it's under 2,000, that you do if it's over. So just to remind everybody about that, because that's actually makes things a little bit easier so you're not having to do all this paperwork for small jobs.
Great to know. Thank you, Victoria. That's yeah, that is a big difference over what we did have in the past.
And
So
it's supposed to go up every year based on inflation. So, which I don't know why they've taken so long to do that, but
yeah, it is a big difference too, because I mean, a lot of times you'll pay somebody $1,000 for some work done, and then you got to go through all the paperwork, get their social security numbers and all this stuff, and it's really kind of a, I don't know, kind of a nightmare sometimes to even try to go back and get it, because if you don't do it up front, people don't like to give you their information down the road. You
yeah.
know?
Yeah, for me, like, and I'm actually in the process of doing this right now. What I generally do is I always request a W-9 from my contractors right away.
Yeah.
And then I get lien waivers before they get their last payment, or I give it to them as they're getting their last payment. However they want to do it is fine with me, but I always make it a rule to always get the W-9 up front. Make sure that if they're an LLC, you definitely have to get one. But now it's $2,000 and over for the year of 2026, which is nice because it makes makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, great. I'm glad you brought that up, Victoria. That is very, very good. And yeah, the lien waivers make all the difference too. You always want to, like you said, always hold back the final payment until you have that lien waiver, and it needs to be notarized. Also, we have some in our files that will hopefully and probably never will file or do anything with, but they're invaluable if you need them. Because
Yeah.
people, if they don't pay their contractors, you can have all kinds of issues. I know we built our place, there was all kinds of subcontractors and things like that. And you may trust the person and the company you're dealing with, but if they don't pay or if there's any kind of discretion on on their subcontractors, that's where the stuff comes in. We actually had some with ours, and we got it straightened out pretty easily. But the guys who did the porta potty, they were from they didn't get paid right, and they were all of a sudden we're going to put a lien on the house for $900 because they didn't get paid. They did get paid. But it was a, I don't know what kind of misunderstanding it was, but they didn't send the money right away. So I got a hold of the general contractor right away, and he paid him. But it was kind of a little threat, which I didn't even like. So you got to make sure you get that lien waiver. That's very, very important. So the fact that we could do a whole thing on that, we could spend a whole day on that kind of training, because those are really important things to know. And a lot of times you don't know until you don't know, you know,
Yep.
and it could make all the difference. And the title companies aren't going to necessarily let that go. If you go to transfer your property, yeah, they do need to be notarized. What we did with ours is, we're in Madison County down here, but we do a lot of business with Preferred Title up in Farmington, and I called them up and they actually put together everything we needed. I just gave them the information. They actually sent me an email, told me what they needed, and they did it all. And we actually had the contractors meet at the title company. And then we paid them, or they paid them right there on the spot. We got all our waivers and everything. So actually, I don't think we paid them there, but we paid them after they got it signed and they told us it was okay. Then they mailed it. They didn't even charge us anything to do it.
I don't usually notarize mine. You can use DocuSign because DocuSign is a digital print. So that is showing that they did sign it. And I think it also depends on the contractors. If you've worked with them in the past and you have a good relationship with them, I think it's probably best practice to get it notarized, but I don't think it's actually is necessary to do. But DocuSign is super helpful with the digital recording of the signature.
Yeah, Preferred told us it was best to do that because if you need to file it, it needed to be notarized because sometimes there's some questions with some of the other ways to do it. So we just did what they told us to do, and it worked out pretty good. So it's just cover yourself because you can't cover yourself too much with that kind of
Sure.
stuff. Because all it takes is one painter or one taper, and they're all, everybody's got a different specialty, and it only takes one that don't think they were treated right. And you can go put it, you could actually go put a lien on anybody's property for any reason. Now, in the state of Missouri, though, if it's a fraudulent lien or it's deemed fraudulent, there is a $5,000 fine that they will charge you for that. So don't just go start putting liens on properties. We had somebody years ago that when I was a mortgage broker that and I won't even get into all the details, but she was putting liens on a lot of people's properties just for consultations, and she really didn't do much that we could tell. Of course, she did give us the waiver. The deed of release is what you actually need. Deed of release is what you need
Yeah.
to get
Well,
rid of
and
them.
they have to file it property if you want properly. If you want to file a lien, there's a process to doing that. You actually have to provide notice first to whoever you're filing the lien for, and then I think there's a 10-day period or something like that. And if they don't file the notice, then they can't file the lien or it gets dismissed if they try to do that. And also, I believe they have to have an invoice or there has to be a documented record of the work in order for them to file the lien as well. But I'm
And that
not
also
exactly
depends
sure.
on the county because we
Yeah.
filed liens in the past without any documentation. I just filed a lien on it saying we had that, like a deed of trust and things. So it really depends on the county. So I'd cover all your bases, just like you say, though. I mean, do it the
Yeah.
right way. There is a process, but county to county, they do things differently. So
Yeah,
um,
definitely. You
that's
have to double check.
in fact, that's another reason you might want to show up at the Missouri Tax Sale Seminar on the 26th of June because you'll be talking with some of the people from the different counties. And I personally am just amazed at the difference on how people do stuff. I got it, in fact, for one of my groups that we have on Wednesdays, the other day I dug out an email I got from last year because I was trying to get a list of the tax sale properties, in July before they come up in August. And it was actually Mary's County, which is a smaller county. And the email, I made a screenshot because it was so funny. She just said, well, we don't usually do tax sales here because they're not very popular in our county. It's like, well, wait a minute. I mean, they're not popular in any county if you owe money. So I just thought that was comical, though. And she says, yeah, we usually just don't do that. So I asked her, I just said, well, what do you do? Do you not have any? And she goes, no, we've got some back from 23 and 24. We just haven't done anything with them yet. So and that's the beauty though about dealing with some of the properties too, because there's 115 counties in Missouri. Every one is different. And then you throw in St. Louis County and St. Louis City and then Kansas City and some of these, and everybody kind of goes to the beat of their own drummer, it's whatever they feel like. I know down in Cape, kind of close to Dave down there, I think it was Carol is her name, and she was telling us the way they got theirs last year. They sent people special, and it was very creative. I don't remember the exact wording she used, but they sent people out special notices, almost like a bill collector. And they only had, out of the like 28 properties that were coming up, they only had like 4 of them that didn't pay, which to me was pretty amazing. But everybody can do what they want, and that's one reason I like to go to the tax sale seminar, just to kind of see, talk to the different people, and you get a lot of good ideas and a lot of good strategies if that's something that you're interested in.
Yeah, I
Um,
think at the very least, just always get the lien waiver, however you want to do it, whether you want to have them sign it and record it or do a DocuSign or get it notarized. I think just at least getting that is definitely good practice.
yeah, always a good idea. Dana, did you have a question there? I seen you put your hand up. Did you have
Good morning, everyone. How you doing? Thanks for recognizing my hand.
yeah.
um, James and he had another appointment, but we are in the process of listing a property for owner financing. And he's basically the one that was, looking into posting and everything. We have our ad and everything, but every place that we were looking into posting, we were trying not to put the address. Now, like I think Facebook Marketplace, did he say? Everywhere he was looking, anyway, it was requiring you to put the address. Are there any platforms that don't require it, or is there a way on those platforms we could put it without listing the actual address?
That was on Facebook Marketplace. You said was one of them. They
I
required
think
you to have.
it was, yeah, Zillow and because those were places that we were, recommended to advertise. But like I said, we were trying not to do the actual. I didn't actually do it. He was doing it, but that's what he was saying, is telling me, to put the address in. So I haven't had a chance to look at it, but I mean, do you have any experience with that as far as not listing the address, or do you always list your address in your ads?
I don't remember if they actually asked for the actual. I thought I put the 100 block in there, but maybe we did
Okay.
put the address. I never had a reason. Anybody have any experience with that? As far as that goes, is there a reason you don't want to put the address in there? It's just because it's empty?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's empty.
There are
And
a lot of scams, and I know you can't be too careful these days because I've seen people renting houses they didn't own and all kinds of crazy stuff. We actually had one down here in Park Hills that some guy from Nevada opened up a company. I might have told you this, but he opened up a company with our same name and then found a local realtor that went by and took pictures of it and listed the property. And I came across it just out of chance on Zillow because I was looking for something else and I decided to look at that. So that was something. And of course, the Attorney General, it's not enough money because even though it's maybe $150,000 property, they had it listed for 35, I think it was. And the Attorney General was just not interested at all in pursuing that, which kind of amazed me because I thought fraud was fraud, but apparently the amount makes a difference. So I don't know. Does anybody else have any insights on any of that they'd like to share with Dana?
So I just so Brian here from Landlord Ops. Hey there. So I just jumped over to Facebook to Marketplace to try to do exactly this, just to see if it would require me to do a address or anything. I was able just to put in a zip code, and it seemed to let me move through just fine. Um,
okay.
maybe look at
Okay.
that, although I'm not looking exactly at what you're looking, so maybe it looks a little different, but it seems to be letting me publish this very not real house for sale.
Okay. Okay. So I'm glad you did that because I needed to, I would off the call and everything. I would like to, James and I want to this afternoon, if possible, to give you a call, Brian, and also Victoria, just from well, you about listing some things, and Victoria, we were talking about lending. So
Happy to help. I mean, I think you've got my number. If not, happy to.
yeah, we do, but yeah, I
Yeah,
do have it.
on Craigslist, you don't need to put it in either. I usually put in 2XX, like for my last property I sold, which was address was 212.
Mm-hmm.
And I put 2XX and just got the 100 block, and then I put the pin on the block, but not on the house. I was just looking at that. So I don't know. That's been several months ago, but it's still there. So I don't know where all you're looking, but you should, and maybe you could do it like in that case, if you could put like if it's 212, you could just put 200 or something like that. I don't know. You'd have to really look at it. But
So
yeah,
you've had success with Craigslist and not many bad experiences. I've heard bad experiences with Craigslist. That's why
I,
we
I've used them for 20 years. The only
okay.
experience I have bad with them is people deleting your information, and I think it's competitors because they will do that. So you got to go back in there. And what I found, what I do most of the time, I'll put it on there, and then after it's there for, hopefully it don't get deleted right away. If so, make copies of it and put it in a document so you don't have to relist everything. The pictures you do have to upload, and I don't know why people do that, but they do. Only thing I could think of is it's a competitor or something. I don't know. I don't even know that I have competitors, but that's what happens. But then I'll go back and I'll delete my own listing. And then I'll have one I can just go back and relist at any time. And you can do that for months and months at a time.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you can't be too careful on any of that stuff. Anytime you list anything, the way the scams are nowadays, I mean, people are out there doing all kinds of crazy stuff. So you can cover yourself as much as you can. Hopefully title company will take care of stuff the right way, before they'll transfer the property. So. All right. And Steve, what if a witness signed? You talking about a lien waiver? Are you talking about there? Yeah, well, if that's what you're talking about, my experience is anybody that has authorization to sign for the company, and that's what you have to
I was
kind
talking
of,
the same thing. Yeah. Notarize. Yeah.
no, okay. Yeah, if you have a reason, like we can notarize deeds. If somebody has a authorization for your company, because we do stuff in our LLCs and in our S corp, and you just have to be an authorized person with the company. That's how we personally do it. All right. You want to tell us about your property, Dana, that you got for sale? Do you want to say anything about it in case anybody here is interested?
Yeah, it's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath. It's in Bell Fountain Neighbors. It's a nice neighborhood. It's the same property that we had mentioned before. But it's established neighborhood, and it's a little bit of a busy street. It's not real busy, just during the rush hour time. This is a pass-through street, so that a lot of cars may come up and down. I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, it's neighbors are nice and friendly, and no issues or anything over there. So I think it's a fairly decent block. And we would like to get some more on that block if we could, but that's about it.
Why are you selling it, Dana? If you don't mind me asking.
Well, when we purchased it, we originally purchased it to do midterm renting, but as we got into it and was starting to do the midterm renting, we found out a little quickly that wasn't going to work over there for different reasons. So we wound up renting it out Section 8. However, we really do not want to do anything that large rental as far as Section 8 is concerned. So we were contemplating on what we were going to do with it, and then we came across the owner financing, so we said we would do that because we don't want to deal with the repairs for that large of a property, and all of that. So, and with the number of children that would require for the Section 8 to approve it for a 4-bedroom, and all of that. So
Okay.
that's why we're deciding to do it this way, to do this and just acquire smaller properties.
Okay. And you're actually looking for a homeowner then, probably, as opposed to an
Correct.
investor. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Homeowner. Yeah. And they're trying to acquire more home ownerships in the area as well, I know. So, and this is a way we can maybe hopefully help that out, so.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good opportunity. I think you're talking about advertising in the right place. That's probably where you'll find somebody that's going to be a happy homeowner, because that's really what you want. Is this the same property that you were telling us about a few weeks ago, though, that they were taking some of the sidewalk or something? Or
Yes, this is
Okay.
the same property. So,
Okay.
and we're in negotiation with that as far as the amount. So we counter offered for a larger amount. So we're getting comps and all of that. So it's not as much as we kind of counter offered, but said don't hurt to ask, right? So
Right.
anyway, but it's significantly larger than what they offered us. So we're working
Well,
to.
you always want to start off with more than what you think you'll get anyway, because you can always adjust it that way.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's still in the works too. So, and
All right.
if the owner financing doesn't work out, we'll still have it, and then maybe depending on what's going on at the time, we may be able to do something different. So, you know, we're trying to change with the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Always good to have some options too. A couple exit
Yeah,
strategies. Yeah. Very
yeah.
nice. All right. Well, thank you, Dana.
Thank you.
All right. All right. Who else has something? Anybody else got anything they're selling today? Anybody looking to buy something? Everybody just happy the holidays are over.
I have something real quick. I almost forgot, but I wanted to offer to the group. I have a gas stove that I'm removing from my flip in South County. And four of the burners work. It's actually a five burner. Four of the burners work. One, it's clicking but not working. And it's got a little bit of cosmetic issues. But if anybody wants a gas stove for free, they can come pick it up from me or just let me know. And it's in South County.
Okay, it's a gas stove, you said?
Yep.
All right. And what's the best way to get a hold of you, Victoria?
You can call me at 872-444-6681. And I also have, some vanities and things like that, they're older, but they're still in good condition. So if somebody needed them for a pantry or a basement area, a wet bar, something like that, that would be good for that. So if anybody's in need of something like that, you can also reach out to me at that number.
Okay, and that's in South County.
Yep.
Okay, very good. How's that going? I know you talked about that before.
Oh, I am dealing with the city with
Okay.
permitting and it's a bit challenging because there's things that they're requiring that aren't necessarily required. So, we had our first rough-in, and the inspector that I got was apparently pretty new. So he's calling out things, and my electrician is losing his mind because the electrician's like, "That's not what's needed for rough-in. He's crazy," and so it's going back and forth between people, and yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Over the holidays, it took 2.5 weeks to get approved through the Green Park area, which finally got approved through that. So now, yeah, I have to reschedule rough-in. It's just, there's a lot of nitpicking that, you know, I don't know. Everybody's got to do their job, but at the end of the day, it's like, this is why people get frustrated with having to pull permits. So.
Yeah. I'm sorry for laughing, but I totally understand. It's
No,
not
I
as
mean,
much
I'm
fun.
laughing too, because that's all you can do. It's like, they kind of have you and you just have to do what they say and, you know, hope for the best.
Yeah, there's really nothing you can do, like you said. You just have to kind of smile and move on with it. But boy, it can be frustrating as can be. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, luckily there's not a lot with this house. So, if this were a larger project, it might be a lot more frustrating, but there's not a lot of work to do. So, they're requiring us to redo some electrical that was existing because when I pulled off the mirror in one of the bathrooms, there was the hole left because there was an old medicine cabinet there that was like recessed in. So when we pulled the vanity mirror off, that left a hole. So when the inspector came, he stuck his head in there.
Yeah.
And apparently some of the electrical wasn't technically the way it was supposed to be. So now we're having to redo that, which, and I totally understand that stuff, but it's just stuff that gets added on. So,
Yeah, if you got a hole in anything, they will stop you right there. I've had that happen a couple of times. We had a plumber doing one little thing, and he took the wall out and he went outside to cut a piece of trim, and the inspector was driving by. This was in Hazelwood, and they stopped right there. He walked in and seen something he didn't like because they can do that. He
yeah.
shut down our whole thing, made the guy leave right there on the spot, put stickers on the door, and then we had to deal with a whole new set of inspections and stuff that I didn't even count on.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but the good news is the sewer lateral program for St. Louis County was really good. So they ended up fixing the crack that we had that was in the front yard the vertical vent. So that actually got fixed. So we didn't have to pay anything. So that ended up saving us, $4,000. So that was really the contingency I had. So we ended up getting that money back for all this extra stuff. So at least we have the money for it. But yeah.
Actually, I'm glad you brought that up. That's a great point. I had that happen to us in Ferguson one time, where the guy there, it's a longer story than I'll get into, but the guy was a Section 8. It was moved in. Section 8 people were good, but they moved in somebody that wasn't really on the lease and all this, which we didn't know, and they weren't paying the water bill, which of course we do things differently now. But he kept turning the water back on and messed the whole thing up there. But because we pay that little insurance, and I think this is what you're kind of talking about every month with your sewer, that's kind of covered. And they came and dug up the whole front yard and saved us like I don't know, $3,500 or $3,800 too because of that. And I was real happy about that too, because that could have been another major expense.
Yeah, I mean, you really just have to check. Like St. Louis County, is a pretty large area, but they have a really good sewer lateral program. So if you ever find that there's any kind of cracks or anything that has to be repaired within the sewer lateral where it's, outside of the house, all you have to do is apply and submit the information. You have, somebody come and run a video. You submit the videos to the county, and they will generally approve it. And then they'll hire the contractor for you. The contractor comes out, does the work, and it's done. And that's all you have to do. So it was actually quite easy, which is surprising considering it's with the city. So.
Yeah, I kind of had a similar experience how easy it was because we had actually a plumber come out and try and look at it. And he goes, yeah, he goes, you got a big job. This is, $3,500, $4,000. He goes, but he goes, let me see your bill. And you pay a couple dollars. It's not very much every month for this. And he says, all you got to do is get a hold of them, like you were saying right there, get a hold of MSD. And then there was a shard application. They came out and did everything, put my yard back together and everything. It was really a pretty good process, which I was really surprised about because I expected to have to foot the bill for all of it.
Yeah, I was expecting to as well. And actually, my plumber was the one that was like, you can just submit this to St. Louis County and see if they'll pay for it for you. So I did, and they covered all of it. So yeah, I mean, it's a huge cost when you have to deal with sewer lateral because they have to dig everything up and it's a whole process. The whole thing only took a day. The guy came out yesterday, did the work, and it's done. He didn't really leave the yard in that great of condition, which I may have to deal with a little bit. But yeah, it. People, I think investors forget that there's all these different kinds of programs. You have so much going on, but yeah, when it comes to the sewer lateral, they're not just St. Louis County. I think a lot of the counties have these programs that will pay for it for you.
Yeah, we had good service there too, and it was a plumber too, just like you said that actually knew that, which I was really thankful for that plumber.
Yeah, that's how you know you have a good plumber when they're, because he could have easily said, "Oh yeah, it's $4,000."
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, when they recommend stuff like that to you, that's when you know you've got somebody that's good and trustworthy.
Yep. Make sure you keep their name close.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's let's see, that was Green Park, is it? That was a municipality some of us didn't know about.
Yeah, we talked about that before. It's that little teeny tiny area by uh Lindbergh and Tesson Ferry. So
Mhm. Okay. Well, if anybody needs a gas stove, get in touch with Victoria
yep.
and some vanities you said also.
Yeah, some cabinets. I
Okay.
have some extra cabinets and vanities. There's slab panel. They're just white slab panel doors. So someone could easily paint them and put new hardware on it. They look brand new. I don't have anywhere to put them in the house. Otherwise, I would do that myself. But it's just there's too much finished already in the house for me to do that. So if someone can use them, let me know.
Okay. Well, thank you, Victoria. A lot of good information there. Let's see here. Nancy, are you there? You still looking for a place to rehab or flip? St. Anne, St. John, or Normandy? Are you there where you can unmute yourself and tell us what you're looking for there, Nancy? Uh, there you
Yes,
are. There you are. Okay.
here. Yes, I
Mhm.
am still looking. I did go look at that place in St. Anne, John, that you sent over to me. Um, that's uh, got some serious issues and a strangest floor plan I've ever seen. So I
Yeah,
think
I don't know anything about it. Yeah.
that's okay. I appreciate it. I did look at it, and I looked at one other place near there as well. But yeah, I'm looking for a project still. The areas I've listed, St. Anne, St. John, parts of Normandy are great, Afton, Florissant. I've got one rental in Ferguson, and a nice area.
Mhm.
It's right by Cool Valley. You wouldn't mind something there again.
Mhm.
So just something like that.
Oh,
Depending on the area, I realize the price could fluctuate quite a bit. I generally try to stay, 60 to 130, but really if it's Afton, it would be more than that. But that neighborhood price range.
okay. And you're not looking for a full gut rehab, if I remember correctly. You're just looking for something that you can
Right.
put something into and
Yes,
do updates and things like that, correct?
absolutely. The one we did in Florissant was new electrical, new HVAC, refinished hardwood floors, painted everything, updated new doors, stuff like that, but not down to the studs. That's more than I want to do.
Yeah. And if you put a hole in the wall too, you might get extra inspectors
Well,
as we
that's
do.
true. Yeah, there's always that. The one I did in Normandy had some holes in the drywall. Somebody had punched through, but my contractor just, patched that up, and
Mhm.
so we didn't have any problems with that. But we did have a sewer lateral in Ferguson at the place and they were great. City of Ferguson was great to work with.
Yeah, that's my experience also. Ferguson's been pretty good to work with on a lot of things over the years for us.
Yeah.
And okay, what's the best way to get a hold of you, Nancy, if somebody has
Oh,
something?
yeah. I'll put my so here's my phone number.
Yeah, and if you
314
uh
378 9474, or my email is gamel, GAMEL, properties at gmail.com.
all right, thank you. And if you yeah, there you go. You got it in the chat also. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Who else has something for us
Hey,
today?
good morning, John.
Hi,
And
Robin.
everybody. My name is Robin Rich. I have a few things going on. So this week I am going to do 1031 exchanges for a few of my properties. It's going to sell as a package. It's about 280,000. I think my agent is listing it, and it is two single families in Jennings and one is in Hazelwood. I'll put my information in the chat if you'd like to reach out.
Okay. And all three are 280, is that correct? Is that
Yes,
what you
all
said?
three. Yes,
Okay. And all right. You said two in Jennings, and where was the other one?
Hazelwood. I
Hazelwood. Okay.
have a tenant in there. The ones at Jennings are Section 8, and the one in Hazelwood is a regular tenant. No major problems. Pretty good tenants. I'm a small property manager, so I screen out my tenants myself. So far so good with them.
Okay, great. And what's a good contact information for you, Robin?
314-760-6350.
350. Okay. And if you don't mind putting that in the chat also, that'd be very helpful.
Sure.
Thank you. Good opportunity for somebody. That's a 1031 exchange for you. Is that what you're doing there?
Yes.
Okay. What are you looking at buying, if you don't mind me asking?
I like I told you guys last week, I am looking into buying either 16 plus unit, so 16, 20. I'm still looking.
Okay. Okay. So you're looking more of a multifamily then.
Yes,
Correct.
yes.
Okay. Very good. Okay. And you're still looking. Is there any certain area you're looking in? If you
No, it's not a certain area. I'm looking all over now. So trying to get all my ducks in a row, and my agents are bringing me properties.
Sure. Okay. Just something that makes sense.
Yes, absolutely.
Got it. Okay. Very good. Good opportunity for somebody. And you manage these yourself, you said also, correct?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Do you mind telling us what you're getting for the rents right now?
One of the one in Hazelwood, I'm getting 1,300. The
Okay.
in One of them at Jennings, I'm getting 1,048, and the other one I'm getting 924.
924. Okay, so you got some good numbers there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
One
good opportunity.
Two of them are the 2 bedrooms in Jennings and the 3 bedrooms in Hazelwood.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much, Robin.
Welcome.
Good opportunity for somebody if they want to take some properties with some tenants in place. Save you a little bit of time and probably money to also screening them and putting them in there. So it's good. All right. Who else? Who else got something for us today?
What was the bedrooms and Robin, the bedrooms in Jennings? Did you say 2 or 1 bedrooms?
Oh, you're muted, Robin.
Sorry, guys. 2 of them at Jennings are 2 bedrooms, and Hazelwood is a 3 bedroom.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Very good. And you said the 2 in Jennings are the Section 8s? Very good.
Yes, yes.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. All right. All right, who else has something here? Make sure I didn't miss nothing. Okay, a lot of good conversations here today. Kind of all over the place, but that's always good. That's how we find stuff out and learn by finding out what other people go through, because you don't know until you go through it. That's for sure.
I'd like to ask a question for anyone. Does anyone know of any land in the new build, preferably senior community in the St. Charles area, St. Charles, St. Peter's area? That's my parents are looking, to move, and they like that area. They're in that area now, and it just seems like they might need to build for what they want. Does anyone know of anything?
Yeah. Well, what exactly are they're looking for a place to build? Is that what you're saying, Dana?
Yeah, well, they were looking for a place, and then we recommended. Well, it just seems for it to fit everything you want, because we're having trouble finding the right kind of place, because my stepdad is he's on a walker or cane, and they need a single level, no split level at all, no 2-story. They have a 3 bedroom, 3 baths. One of the bedrooms are in the basement. That's fine, but roughly 19 to 2,100 square feet. But anyway, yeah, rooms are spacious right now and everything. So, just so many things that's not fitting the bill for them as far as what, they're needing and looking for. We recommended that they, you can build too. So we found, an area that they would like, preferably senior community. They really don't want a lot of children around, a lot of children. So, and with non-senior community, you tend to get, sometimes quite a bit of children around, and they really didn't want that. So that's why I said senior community.
Yeah. What's their time frame? I mean, are they looking
Within the year?
Within the year. Okay. Okay.
Year.
Okay. Year goes by quick, but yeah, that's, I don't know. Does anybody have anything out that way? It's a little more competitive area than it used to be. I know it used to be, we used to find a lot of things. Actually, there were some places that used to even have tax properties. I've gotten even a couple of free ones up there at Portage de Sioux many years ago. I don't think you can get anything for free anymore out there. You might be able to if you look at them, but I know I know you do, if you're going to build, you do want to probably stay out of the floodplain, and there are a lot of them out there.
Right.
Yeah, it's a very specialty thing as far as I know. We ended up building out, where we're at, Laura and I, we have no stairs and we have all wide doors and everything else. That was on purpose, just because we didn't want to mess with it. Not that we're worried about getting older, but you never know, and it just to make everything easier.
Right. Right.
And so, they didn't always think about that even 10, 20 years ago. So some of the stuff that's even newer construction is not even what you're talking about. They still have a lot of things you're dealing with. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thanks.
All right. And well, thank you. Does anybody have anything they'd like to share with Dana, or maybe just make some notes, keep that in mind, because I know we run into things as it come up. That's something you may even want to look at the tax sales with. I know that's not till, August, but the seminar coming up in June that we talked about, but that's where you can kind of find out some of that stuff. I don't know who the speakers will be this year, but Michelle McBride has been there the last couple of years. She's the St. Charles County collector. They do things different, and like we kind of talked about, than the other counties too, because they take all theirs down. You need to get their list when it's available, when they publish it, and then it disappears and you don't see it. Some of the counties still have leave theirs up year round. Some of them don't. I can look and see if I have anything there that is a little different, different thing than what they're probably looking at doing. Because you would probably need to get a quiet title and some things like that. Although it's not that big a deal, but you can do that stuff if you buy at the tax sale. My experience is though that you can buy from the people or get them from the people instead of the county, and that's the way I actually like to prefer to get properties. Get them to either sell them to you at a discount or even get them free. I've got many properties for free over the years like that. And that's something, but then again, you got to do some due diligence on your own. Make sure it's not in a floodplain. Make sure it is something you can build on, because not all the properties are buildable. So anyway, so if anybody's got anything out in the St. Charles area, and I assume that's county also, get a hold of Dana there. All right, let's see. Anybody else got anything for us today? A lot of good conversations, and I know. Let's see. Destiny was asking about the replays. Yeah, we put them on. I always put them on YouTube by midnight. They will be in the member section on STLREIA. Usually it takes though. They usually don't get to it. They will within 3 to 5 days. That's my experience, because the webmaster. I think he was in New York. I think he's in Tennessee now, but their assistants that do all the technical stuff, they're out of, I believe, the Philippines, and they're on a totally different time schedule. So I always make sure we get them on YouTube by midnight. That's always my rule, by midnight tonight. So it will be up there today. So I know we don't always have the greatest connections. So, we had some last week that was kind of questionable, and that does happen. We have no control over our connections sometimes. So, but we always put those on YouTube. And we've got quite a few of them now too. We got like 600 replays on there and videos. So a lot of good information there. And that's one reason we like you to mention everything verbally as well as writing it down. That way you can go back and write the stuff down, because the chat disappears after it goes away here. All right. Anybody else?
Hey, John, Brian Edelman here. Since we're getting close to wrapping up, I wanted to remind folks that we have January 20th coming up for STLREIA meeting in person over there at the lodge. I will be giving a talk about using AI in real estate investing. If you're not using AI for what you're doing, you're probably leaving a lot of time and money on the table. I'm going to be talking about generative AI and then some operational AI, like how do you use it in actual operations that you're doing. Should be really useful for everyone.
Very good. Thank you, Brian. Yeah, I mentioned you at the beginning.
Practical.
Yeah, we mentioned you at the beginning. I don't think you were here yet, but just for briefly. But I appreciate you telling us about that. So that'll be Tuesday. Tuesday will be here before you know it too. So looking forward to that. And I do believe we have a virtual option also, and you can always find that at the website STLREIA.com. Should be easy to find there. So appreciate that. All
Ryan,
right.
I have a question, John. This is
Yeah,
Marion Miller. I got here a little late.
that's okay.
So Brian, is there a fee for this information? And if
This is
so,
just
how
a
much?
normal STLREIA meeting, which is free for members. And I believe
Oh,
your first time at the RIA is free as well. John, can you confirm that?
That is true, but this particular meeting will be members only.
Oh, okay.
Okay, no guests and no first timers or anything like that because we do have some special things going on, and you'll find out more about that as time goes on. It's all for the good, but there are some pretty major changes coming up too. But I do believe we have a virtual option also, which is no cost at all. We will go ahead and it should be recorded too, which is always good. So we'll have that information that we can go back and look at anytime too, which is a big advantage there. So
okay.
good question, Marion. Thank you. Okay. Anybody else got anything for us today? What's this? Oh, we got a Firefly, a note taker. Okay, I see. All right. I'm still not sure how all that stuff works, but it just shows up. And if you want to take Firefly notes, feel free. I don't have any problem with any of it. So, all right. So, anything else today? Otherwise, I guess we can call it a day. We're coming up on, well, we got a couple minutes left. All good stuff. I see Garrett's up there. I know you got some flooring. You want to talk about your flooring at all before we go?
Sure. Thank you. Yeah, I wholesale vinyl plank flooring here in St. Louis. I have a couple of warehouses. I have about 100,000 square feet of waterproof vinyl plank that I stock here in St. Louis. Forklifts at both locations for quick pickup or can deliver. And I sell to a lot of the local investors and contractors currently. So it's a good line, good colors. And so, yeah, keep me in mind. Thank
What's
you.
the best way to get a hold of you, Garrett?
314 570 7264.
264. Okay, very good. All right. Anybody needs any flooring? Garrett's a good guy to get a hold of. So appreciate it. Thank you. All right. Brian's always great to see you, Garrett. Yeah, I agree.
I saw
Great to see all
Garrett
you guys.
last night, so I mean, I see him multiple times a week.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
you're following me or I'm following you. I'm not sure which yet, Brian, but
I'm pretty sure I was there first, but
Uh, very good. Well, we do have a lot of good things coming up here. So, like I said, I'll have the replay up by midnight tonight. So, it'll be on there. We'll keep up with the announcements. I'll let you know more about the tax sale seminar as I have it, and then also the pet screening. That'll be pretty interesting. I've talked to them a couple of times this week. They have a lot of good information. So I know a lot of us, with tenants and things, do deal with pets. And you want to make sure that you're in compliance and do things the right way. But you want to interview the pet. I know Jeffrey Taylor from Mr. Landlord. He always talks about one of the things I always remembered about him is talking about the pets. And sometimes your pets are your best tenants, which I found that to be true also. Sometimes they're not though. So you just got to make sure you know what you're doing though. And I know we had somebody with it was a big lizard one time that tried to say that was a support animal, and I found out they weren't, but people try all kinds of stuff. So at least if you know and you know where to go, I think that's a lot of it because a lot of us don't know what to do and you want to do the right thing, but then again, you don't want to have pets biting the neighbors and stuff like that too. So you want to make sure they're all registered. And actually, it's another form of increasing revenue too, because I know we've had it where they pay an extra $50 a month for the pets, and then you also usually have a non-refundable. We used to do pet deposit of $250 non-refundable no matter what happens. So, I don't know if that's even the going rate these days because we do things different. We do kind of like Dana was talking. We just do all owner financing these days. We don't have tenants, but that's still something that you need to be aware of. And these people are it's a national company, so they're going to come and give us some really good information coming up. I just think if nothing else, it's a good thing to come and listen and learn to just get the education you need to know so you're more informed dealing with the pets. So anyway, that's as I have more information, I'll let you know about that. And the first one is going to be March the 20th, which seems a long way off, but it's not that far off. So if anybody else has anything, this is a good time to bring it up. Otherwise, are there, let's see, Destiny programs, new investors that anyone knows of. What exactly are you looking for, Destiny? Can you unmute yourself and tell us what you're looking for, resources, or anything like that? I can send you a couple of things if I don't know though. Are you looking for wholesaling or if you're looking to get into rental properties or something like that? I can get you some general information though. I'll go ahead and send you a couple of links from some things. We should have your email address that you registered with, and hopefully that's a good one because I'll go ahead and send you a couple of things. And if that's not what you're looking for, just let us know. And this, of course, is always a good place to come and see what other people are doing. So, all right, and let's see. Yeah, Brian with the Y and Garrett with 2 R's and 2 T's. Yeah, good way to remember it.
I had to double check it myself when I was spelling Garrett again, just to make sure.
Okay. Yeah, Destiny's looking for maybe some wholesaling and fixed flips and rentals. Okay. I can send you a couple things that that I think you might be interested in. If that's not it, then let me know. We'll see if we can get you some other things. All right. Well, I appreciate everybody tuning in today. It's a little bit after the hour. If nothing else, we will see you Tuesday, then we'll see you next Friday. So appreciate everybody. We'll see you soon.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Okay. Thanks.